I'm just waiting for Crystal. We're having some issues getting on to each other's feed for some reason. There she is. Okay. Crystal, I don't understand. There you go.
That's
a lot of stress.
now. Mike, just give me 1 second. What even happened?
I don't know, but it's fine. We got it. We did it.
Doing this. Okay.
How are you?
Am I blushing because I was laughing so hard I could not even concentrate? I'm good.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good. You're good. This is definitely, I think this is like, my second live I've ever done. And I was super nervous, but now that we're on, now I'm fine.
Good.
So, are you grounded today?
Absolutely not.
No.
I didn't go to Dry Gulch yesterday for a walk, so I kind of skipped over that, and I haven't done it today, so I'm very charged. What about you?
I'm a bit grounded. I've had a really good day. I've cold plunged. I have gone to hot yoga. I've gone to like one extreme temperature to the other.
Yeah.
And I always feel good when I do hot yoga. I need it for my body. Yeah. And I've started cold plunging, and that's been really good for me. And then I went to the park and I walked, and that was good. And then now we're here. So I think I'm more grounded today than I normally am. This new moon has not let me be grounded at all. Like this new moon in Aquarius has been all air, and it's just been a lot. Yeah. So have you felt like, I mean, you said you haven't slept all week, so
I haven't been sleeping the last 2 nights. It's been like, and I normally don't have any issues sleeping at all. So
I definitely have not slept, but that's normal for me, but it's worse now for sure.
Yeah, like I think I got 4 hours last night.
Yeah.
Which is probably another reason why I'm ungrounded.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What are your favorite grounding practices? Like when you do need to ground?
I have 2, but my number 1 favorite is leaning up against a tree, like sitting at the base of a tree. Mm-hmm. Or even just standing, but I just feel like it's so good. Like I feel it cleanses my energy. If I close my eyes, I can feel the electricity kind of just drain from my body.
You were saying that I did.
What?
You make me laugh.
Why? What's so funny?
I don't know. You just make me laugh. I love you so much.
I love you too. My second favorite one is a salt bath.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Like Epsom salts. Amazing.
That grounds you?
Yeah.
Would you tell me more? I did not know that.
Like I get like a pretty good sized tub, and I'll pour like half of the salts in. I don't know.
But how does that ground? Is that a thing that I'm just not aware of?
It's my thing, and it works.
That's how I feel about this cold plunging. Like I swear to God, it puts me to sleep, and I feel like it's not meant to do that. But it takes all of my stress and just it calms me down, and then I'm like, I'm ready for bed. So
I haven't tried it. I did it at the spa once. There's like a cold and hot plunge, mm-hmm. and but not like with the ice and everything.
I did 42 degrees today for 3 minutes.
So what is that in Celsius?
I don't know. We're gonna have to Google that.
Yeah, we're gonna have to look that up.
I feel like probably 3 degrees. Probably something like 2 or 3 degrees, or maybe 4.
That's cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was cold, but it was good. When you're in, I find it easier to go into the plunge rather than in my bathtub with ice, because in the bathtub my knees are sticking up. And my knees are sticking up. I'm still warm, and I'm like, when you
it's weird.
Yeah, so if you're just submersed in water, then you're fine, I find.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Well, my name's Morgan, to make this awkward.
Hi, Morgan.
Hi.
Thank you.
And so I call myself an empowerment mentor. And the reason for that is I self empower people through myself and through my journey to help other people find empowerment through themselves. So if people are finding, like, the things that I specialize in are addiction, because I've walked myself through addiction, codependency, I've walked myself through that as well, and really finding self-worth and self-respect. So especially through me getting sober, I've been sober now for 7 years, and it was a long journey. So I struggled with mental health, I've struggled with addiction, and I was with therapists, doctors, psychiatrists, psychologists, like, you name it, all of the things that we're supposed to do. And I was never able to get any help. And I finally hired a private mentor to help me. And that really changed the course of my healing and of me being able to get sober and to understand my issues. And I think the reason that it was good with the mentor is my mentor finally asked me, like, she validated why I was using. So I think that a lot of the therapists and doctors prior to that, there was never any validation for why I was using. They were just like, stop using drugs, stop doing this, stop. It's like, well, yeah, if it was that easy, we all would do it, right? So I was able to learn, like, why I was using these substances, why I needed to be on anxiety medication. My nervous system was blown out. I was anxious. I was depressed. I was traumatized from my childhood, and I was using these drugs to help cope with these things. Yeah. And when I finally understood that, like, then I all of a sudden didn't need any of these drugs or alcohol. Like, then it seemed like my addiction issues were a lot easier to manage when what was underneath the surface wasn't festering anymore. And it made it a lot easier to, look at my own bullshit, if you will, and look at my traumas when I wasn't being sort of scorned for it the way I was in therapy, or just talking about, a terrible situation over and over and over again. We sort of just looked at, okay, like, this is what happened. This is why you are like this. There's no shame around that. It's just, it is what it is. Now let's, like, unpeel the onion, so to say. So we slowly would peel the onion back, take a layer off, and deal with it. And I also learned a lot of nervous system work. So, like, to help, I started to meditate. I started to do EFT tapping. I learned how to ground, and it taught me how to be comfortable with my feelings. So instead of just, I'm feeling anxious, let's, do drugs, or, go to have, like, a 3-day party, or go drinking, like, it's okay. You're feeling these feelings because that's natural. And I learned how to feel safely, and through that I was able to work through my trauma, and then my addiction just fell away naturally. And through that experience, it has been so life-changing that I want to do this for other people. And I am doing this for other people. And that was, like, my wake-up call to be like, this is so important, and I want to spread my knowledge and my story and the power that I've learned that we can all have with other people. So that's in short what I do.
So would you say that walking yourself through life experience, when it's the most challenging, is what inspires you?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I 100% always want to move through something by myself, or not by myself, but first. I always want to move through something first before I'm then going to speak about it or give advice on it. And it's just reiterating the power that we do have. And I can then spread that to my clients or other people that I talk to and show them like it is possible. If I can walk through it with a blown out nervous system, I was on so many antidepressants, so many anti-anxiety. I was on, you know, I was addicted to Coke. I was addicted to Percocets. So if I can strip all that away and become like my naked self and empowered, so can you. Like so can you. So can anybody.
So inspiring.
Thank you.
So inspiring. So right now, if your nervous system gets activated, what is your favorite go-to practice to help rebalance yourself?
I would say acknowledging that my nervous system is activated. So, if I get really nervous or like a hit of anxiety, I will be just be aware of it.
Yeah.
Be aware of it and then take a deep breath. And if you're not able to sort of ground your energy through that, then I will do shaking, which is really helpful for your nervous system. This cold plunging, now that I'm like, this is like my new thing. It's, I think, a safe addiction to have. Yeah. You have to honor having an addictive personality and do it properly. Meditation for sure. That's a daily practice that I do. And walking outside and like, I don't know, sometimes I have to scream into a pillow, and you just have to let your body process the emotion. We are meant to feel emotions.
It's so true. And I feel like as kids, sometimes we can be told, oh, your emotion is too much. Like I even find myself doing that with my kids. Like if I'm moving through something and they have a big emotion, it makes me feel a certain way about it. And I have to catch myself and not remember to tell them that they're not allowed to have that, emotion. Because that can teach us to hold it in and suppress it. And so there's a lot of adults walking around out there that don't even know how to give their feelings space. Yeah.
Okay. Can you tell me a bit about you and what you do?
Okay. I've been thinking about this because I do quite a few things, but I was like, what is like my title? And I feel like it's a freedom leader.
I love that, Crystal.
Thank you. Because there was a time in my life when I was definitely so far from free. And like I felt like a caged bird. And so my journey has been about finding myself and choosing myself. I was always someone who chose other people before myself. And I was deep into depression. I drank wine to suppress my emotion. I honestly didn't know how to cope with those feelings at all. I was riddled with anxiety all the time. And so walking myself through that journey and learning, just like you said, giving your feeling space to feel and let it be okay and not try to run from it all the time. And just moving through life experiences that have been so challenging, but believing in myself that I could get through it. And I think working with my mentor as well is what has inspired me to do that for other people, which is also something that I've always done. I've always held space for people. So it just is, it's just kind of like a natural thing for me. And it just...
When you say it like a freedom leader, like what does that mean to you? Like let's say if I didn't know you, what would that mean to somebody that didn't know you?
Freedom leader would be someone who... That's a really good question. Let me think about this. So I teach other people how to remember who they are, like when they were born, worthy, enough, loved, heard, seen, validated, to show them that they have the ability to free themselves from restricting beliefs that we've been programmed with, that we've learned, that we've adopted, kind of the beliefs that really hold you back in your life. And so it's like walking people to freedom is what it is.
Wow. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
What tools do you use with your clients to like help walk them to freedom?
We literally walk through the experience. So it's like probably starts with awareness. I think that is the really, really big one. Self-awareness is huge when it comes to this. Understanding where we restrict ourselves and being able to recognize the block and reprogramming it in a way that feels like it can be received by them. And shifting beliefs.
Like you and I are so opposite from each other. Like I would definitely say we're both very free spirits. I would say I'm probably more, I'm going to use this word, but I don't mean this too harshly, but I'm more, in a sense, liberal, but I'm not a liberal by any means, but I'm more maybe liberal in, I don't know how I would describe it. We're both extremely free spirits. Yeah. I'm just a little bit maybe crazier than you are. Let's just put it that way. I'm probably a little bit more of a crazier person than you are.
You definitely have a little more edge. Yeah.
But we can converse so well, and you do hold space so well. I feel like I can always come to you with any problem or any celebration, and you just make it so easy to talk to you about anything. And I mean, I can sometimes talk about the most inappropriate things, and you don't probably like it, but you hold space for me to do so. You know, like I would never know that that's not comfortable for you, or that you haven't walked these lines in life. You just have a way of really showing up for people, and you're one of my favorite people to talk to.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Well, I think that goes to why we wanted to do this mini series. Crystal and I have wanted to do, like you and I have wanted to do this, a podcast for a while, and because we have these like conscious conversations about everything all the time, and there's so much wisdom that we express between the two of us, that why shouldn't we share it with other people?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I feel like every day there is something that we're talking about and moving through. Every single day. And my favorite part about you, because you just did this, I'm going to do it.
Okay.
You have a really grounding energy to you. Like you ground me down. It's like if I want to open up about something, which you know is one of my most challenging things, is to get super vulnerable, but you listen, and you have the ability to see it from an outside perspective. There's never any judgment.
No.
You always make me feel really safe.
I love that, Crystal.
And
thank
you have
you.
a really like mothering energy to you.
That's so funny. My neighbor today, I was when I was walking home from after yoga, she was like, "You're like the boss." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "You're really bossy." And I don't think she but it was like a compliment. And I was like, "Oh, okay." And I think it's really, there's a way to harness that, and I think I've learned how to harness that, and I use that to help people,
Yep. And I love that. And you're really funny. You make me laugh like every day.
That's good.
And we all need that. We need to laugh. It's important.
Well, I hit you with shock value all the time, and I do it sometimes. It's good for you. I think you need it, but now it's really just who I am. Like I just enjoy. I'm just like a little unhinged all the time, but it's It's like good unhinged. Like it's not a crazy. It's just like, did she just say that? Like, did I just hear that right?
It
Yeah.
is good. What is your favorite way to recharge?
That's a good question. Well, I'm an introvert, as like boastful and as much of a personality that I have, and as like extrovert as I come across, I'm actually an introvert. And so recharging for me is being alone. Um, Going to the gym, I love that. I would say like hot yoga or going for a walk with my dog is really like those are really powerful ways for me to recharge. And yeah, just like not being part of peopling.
Yeah,
Peopling's hard on me.
I hear ya. I'm the same.
I know.
I feel like on social media, I'm an extrovert,
Mm-hmm.
but in like physical form with people, I'm an introvert. Just because I'm like super sensitive, clairsentient, and I like feel everything.
Yeah.
And so I find it really draining. Yeah.
I agree.
Unless it's with people who like you or the other people that are in our close circle.
Yeah, for sure.
A few really good friends. So, and
I think, sorry?
And my kids.
I think having people who don't pull at your energy, so I think the trick is, as an introvert, is being around other introverts. And that might sound bizarre. Like how do these introverts like function all together? But because we don't pull from each other, right? We don't need other people's energy to fuel us. So actually being with other introverts is good because no one's ever pulling on each other, right? And especially being around conscious people, that is really helpful as well. So like people who are self-aware, people who, you know, have done the work and have put in the work through self-awareness, whether that be through therapy or just, you know, with themselves. Just, I think being self-aware is really important.
Yep.
And if you've reached a level of self-awareness where you understand your own triggers and your own, just the way you are, then it's easier to navigate the way somebody else is a little bit easier.
Yep, so true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you haven't shared anything about your energy healing, so I'm going to bring it up. So can you just talk about that a little bit?
So I didn't actually know that I had natural gifts until I started my mentorship with my mentor. And we did a 6-month like deep healing. And throughout that, our chakra centers were cleared one by one.
Okay.
So as the healing took place and we start to like purge that block, that dense energy, they started to come online. And to the point where I was like, whoa, like this is insane. And so I was so intrigued by the fact that she worked with other people's energy. And it was just like, it called to me like, you need to do that. It's like I knew. Mm-hmm. And so after we finished the 6-month program, she offered another one where you work with your psychic gifts to bring them online. So I did that and I started practicing on her energy.
Okay.
And yeah, that's how it all got started. Yeah.
So when you work with clients now, what does that look like to do energy healing on people?
Yeah, so we can chat about it first to see. I do really well with like physical symptoms.
Okay.
Or if there's like emotional blocks. Those are the two that I work the best with. And it's really, really easy to me to figure out quickly what is going on in the chakra just by having a conversation with someone. Yeah. Plus I can feel it in my body too.
So if I was a client and I came to you and I just, let's say, I don't know, I have bladder infections that happen. Like, let's just say I'm having a bladder infection or my back hurts or whatever. You would be able to tap into that and
Yeah.
be able to, oh wow, really?
Yeah.
And then you just do healing on your side, and like then people walk away feeling better.
Yeah, I do it remotely.
Okay.
So I channel your energy. You don't have to be in the room with me. I actually don't offer in-person sessions. Maybe down the road, we'll see. But yeah, I do it remotely, and I just channel your energy, and yeah.
That's awesome.
Clear.
What?
Clear and balanced.
So why don't you want to do it? Why don't you offer that in person? Is there a reason?
I have done it in person, like with my kids, but never like with the public. I don't know. I think it's because, if I'm being honest, I kind of like to protect the energy in my home, and I just feel safer, I guess. I don't know. Maybe if I had a designated area do it, that might be.
Like, does it make any difference if you do healing, distant healing, or okay?
No. It's still very, very effective.
That's awesome, Crystal.
Yeah, my brother, of all people, was one of the biggest skeptics. And his back was out. He could barely walk. He always has back problems. And I said to him, like, would you be open for me to do energy healing on you? And he's like, okay. And so the next morning, I texted him, and he's like, well, I don't really know that I can make it. I said, you don't have to do anything. You can be doing what you're doing.
Right.
But be aware that I'm going to go into your energy. You may feel some things, right? And so I did it, and he said the whole left side of his butt was like tingling pins and needles. And when I was done, it took me like 10 minutes. His back pain was completely gone.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Has he come back to you for more?
He actually talks to me about it all the time now, which is really amazing.
Oh, wow. And he was a skeptic.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I'll just share this with people, that the reason, we've called this the Empowered Hearts Live is you work with people like with their energy, but also with helping people really drop into their heart. Like that is your gift. It really is your gift. So we can often get so caught up in life, I think, and we can harden, and it is your natural gift to just soften, and you help people do that. Just like your presence helps people do that, and mixed with your energy healing, that's like a really beautiful combination. So the reason it's called Empowered is because I obviously do empowerment mentorship, and I empower people to be the best versions of themselves, and to, not like, just because you're given a shitty plate in life does not mean like that's where you don't have to continue eating off of it. And I think that there was a lot of that when I was younger, as I like have developed like codependency issues, and I was like, well, this is the plate I was given, like it's just a piece of shit, and now what am I, like, that's it. And it was, well, no, you just need a swift kick in the ass, politely, but like in confidence wise, like I don't like actually mean in your ass, but like in your confidence, like people, I think, often look at what they've been given in life, and they just accept it. And if I would have just accepted me being hooked on drugs, like I wouldn't be sitting here talking about this right now. I fought tooth and nail, and I did not accept the situation I was in. How I got onto drugs was I hurt my back, actually, and like that's how I ended up like taking these heavy pills, and the doctors prescribed it. That's how it initially started. It did start, there's that old story of like, doctors are giving you prescriptions, and that's how it started. And that's like where this major addiction came from. But then I felt so good on it. I I started to use it for other reasons, like, oh, this gets rid of my depression, or this gives me energy and I feel euphoric, and now I don't have to feel sad or anxious or whatever. But I think we actually get the most confidence from looking at ourselves and transmuting all of these things and being like, no, I'm good. Like, I can do this on my own. I don't need drugs. I don't need to be codependent on people. You know, I think you have walked through codependency as well.
I have. Yeah. One of the most freeing decisions I ever made, which was also the hardest decision I've ever made, was to choose to leave my marriage.
Wow.
That was really hard. I feel like we gave it all we got, and sometimes it just doesn't work. But I was more scared about what was on the other side. Like, what's gonna happen? You know, like what's gonna happen to the kids? But
right.
I could feel it. It was like I was being nudged in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
And on the other side, for everyone involved, was healing. Yeah. You know? Yeah. And so I have walked through a lot of experiences in my life too. And I think that I honestly think that that's what makes mentors such, like, it's such a great thing, because they can relate to so many different things.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love that.
I love that too.
So I want to ask you one final question, unless there's something else you want to ask me.
Yeah. How can someone work with you? What do you offer?
Oh, right. So I currently right now offer one-to-one mentorship as a container,
Right.
which would look like people joining for a month, 2 months, 3 months, or sorry, 1 month, 3 months, or 6 months. Right. And what that would look like is I would be sort of in your back pocket. So if anything came up during the day, like an in the moment stressor, you would be able to reach out to me and I would be able to walk you through whatever you're going through, especially when it has to do with addiction or codependency or self-worth or, you know, mindset. Like, those are the things that I really hone in on. And so there's that option. And then there's also one-off options that you can buy a session with me to just, if you're just looking for like a mental reframe to help flip your perspective on something. I'm really good at that. So at the moment, those are my 2 offerings that I have.
Amazing.
Yeah. What about you?
I also do 1, 3, and 6 month mentorship. Same as you, someone in the back pocket to walk through life with. And I don't know about you, but for me personally, that was probably the most evolution I made in my life. Right?
Yeah. Mentorship changed my life completely, and I don't think I'd be sitting where I am today without it.
And it's such a close relationship.
Yes.
It's like it's your safety net that you can literally feel safe, get as vulnerable as you need to, talk about anything that is going on in your life, and have someone there.
I think what also is really powerful is we're, like I said, so opposite, and having 2 people with 2 different life skills or 2 different roads they've walked in life, that's like where the juice is you're able to find, we're both mentors, but I've walked through different things than you have. Yep. And so that really allows a personal support relationship, you know, around whatever issues you're dealing with, and you're able to get firsthand experience with issues that you've dealt with, and then issues that I've dealt with that we've walked through and transmuted in life, and now have personal experiences be like, this works, this doesn't. You know, I've tried this, I've tried this, I've tried this. Here's all my experience with it, and here's how it's gone, negative or positive. And being able to put yourself in somebody's shoes.
Yeah.
Unlike walking into the therapist's office where you're like, okay, it's Monday at 2 o'clock. I got to remember all this stuff. Here's my pad and paper. I'm going to write this down. And by the time you end up there, you've kind of like dealt with it already.
You've moved through it.
You've moved through it. Whether you've moved through it, properly or not, you've moved through it. So I think having like the access, being able to talk to somebody, because friends sometimes are not able to always be that person to hold space, right?
Yeah.
I think holding space is a skill that you've learned. It's a skill that I've learned, and to be able to really allow somebody's vulnerabilities to be present and not judge them. If you've been there, then you understand, and I think that's what's really beautiful about it. No shame. We are the no shame club. We really are. We should. That'll be our new name.
You can talk about anything.
Literally anything.
Under the umbrella. So
yeah.
I also do one-on-one sessions like you.
Okay.
They're called heart to heart.
Okay.
And it's literally like you can talk about whatever you want to bring to the table. So if you are moving through something that is super challenging and you would like some universal wisdom to get you through it, that's a great way. Or just someone to hold space for you.
Well, what are the main topics though or the main topics that you have walked through that you would say that you're really good at helping people with?
Like the traumas?
Or sure, traumas, just topics, whatever.
So as a child, my parents divorced.
Okay.
So that's one, I find. Not that this means that anyone is, has trauma like as a bad thing. This is experience. So my parents were divorced. I lost my virginity at a very young age, unwillingly.
Wow.
I was in a physically abusive relationship from the age of 13 to 17. Physically, emotionally, mentally abusive. I know and have very close worked with people who have addiction and alcoholism. I miscarried a child, so I've walked through that. There's a lot. I myself have been divorced, and I'm a single parent with 2 teenagers. So, yeah.
Who have school at home.
Who homeschool now. Yep. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
A lot of thank you. There's a lot of things. What about you?
Well, like I said before, so it's addiction was a major one, is a major one that I've walked through. And I truly understand what people are going through. So, and it doesn't really matter what the drug is. It doesn't matter the extent to your addiction. As long as you have it in the forefront of your mind that you want to get better and that is your goal, I feel like I would be somebody that could help you.
Yeah.
I don't you can't lead somebody, the saying, like you can't lead a horse to water, or you can only lead a horse to water. You can't make them drink it. So as long as somebody has the willingness to want to change, that's all that I need.
Yep.
So as long as if you have an addiction issue or it doesn't even have to be, so it doesn't have to be a substance. It can be, shopping or porn or what would be another one? Gambling.
Like an anxious attachment? Is that the same thing?
No.
So
yeah, so anything that you feel that you're hooked on, well, I guess it could be that you're hooked on. I would be able to walk you through it because I've walked myself through it, and I understand both sides. My mom was also an alcoholic, and so I know what it's like to be a child of somebody who's an alcoholic and on the sober side of things, dealing with somebody else's addiction. So I've been in both shoes.
Yeah.
Regarding the anxious attachment. So yeah, like I've walked through, so because my mom was an alcoholic, I'm an only child, and that was hard on me, having growing up in like a dysfunctional family. I became very anxiously attached to my mom because she was there, between the hours of the morning and 3:30 or 4 o'clock, and then 4 o'clock would hit and it was downhill from there. It was a bottle of wine to two bottles of wine to a box of wine some nights, or you know pounding vodka after that.
Yeah.
So my mom would be present and then she wouldn't be. And as a child, we need our parents before and after 4 o'clock, right? So I developed this attachment style of being like, I need you, I need you, I need you. And the way that that developed later in my life was in relationships, I would always feel like I was being abandoned. So, and that just happens to be a perception that we have, and really the work comes back to us being able to rewire our nervous system. Understanding that you have an anxious attachment has been really helpful. An attachment style has been really helpful, and just knowing that we always have our own back. So it comes back to really a self-love practice.
Yes.
And a self-love journey, and that has been revolutionary for me. Really just walking with myself. I have my own back, I have my own heart, like I'm okay. And being with other people and being in a relationship is not going to kill me. It's okay, it's safe. Yeah. And if we end up breaking up or whatever, that's also okay. Like I'm good. And that was a huge one for me.
Yeah. Choosing, like being able to choose yourself.
Yeah, well, I think being able to rely on yourself, right?
Yeah.
Knowing that you can rely on yourself, and that's really important. Amazing. So yeah, self-love is so important. I know it sounds corny and cheesy, but it is really respecting yourself, loving yourself, knowing your own boundaries, laying the boundaries down and utilizing them. Those are all practices of, I think, what make a solid person and a solid mentor, is walking through all these things, learning them, utilizing them, and then being able to show others the way.
Yeah, and teach them how to use the tools.
For sure.
So that they can lean on themselves and believe that they can get through it.
I think the journey of having a client through mentorship is you don't want them to need you.
Yeah.
Like you want that relationship. That's wonderful. You want to be able to help somebody, but you don't want somebody to need you. You want somebody to be able to learn how to need them and need themselves.
Yeah, that is beautiful. I love that. And it's so true. Because in the end, we are on our own.
Yeah. So it's just being safe in your own house, like in the house of your body and the house of your mind and the house of your soul, and just knowing that you have yourself.
I love that.
I'm going to ask you one final question.
I'm ready.
So, what does it mean to you to have an empowered heart today?
I think today it's confidence. Having confidence to come on here. Mm-hmm. Trust that we could hold our nervous systems and do this. Mm-hmm. Having confidence in myself. I think I've been really walking through self-acceptance, because on my platform, if I'm going to teach it, I need to embody it. And so I've been walking through a lot of inner child and acceptance. So confidence for me. What about you?
I'm going to have to say the same. Confidence, but just knowing that I have my own back. So to have what does it mean to have an empowered heart? It means that I'm vulnerable, but in my shoes solidly. So walking with confidence, walking with an open heart, believing in my faith and in the universe and in everything that I know that I desire is going to come true, because my heart's open, My feet are on the ground. I'm confident. I'm steady. And I'm solid. And I believe in myself.
Amen.
So, amen.
Hey. Woo!
I love you, Crystal. It was so nice chatting with you.
Amazing.
Bye.